Chester House Estate project is already about 80% complete, and sadly we had to stall the project a few years back, and we're just picking up as we left off. It is a very complex project. We're working with Grade 2 star listed buildings in a scheduled monument.
We have things in our landscape that are nationally important. The Roman town would be nationally important in that it's an unexcavated Roman town, which is one of only 3 examples in Northamptonshire. And it also has this story of 10,000 years of history. So while the Roman period is the most obvious because there is the Roman town, we also have the extensive post-medieval with the farm buildings. We have history from the Mesolithic period all the way through to the modern.
The County Council has owned this site for a number of years, since the early 2000s. But unfortunately, the main farmhouse underwent a fire in 2010, which was pretty destructive. And it was at that point that the County Council sought support from the Heritage Lottery Fund. And that has helped us shape how we develop the site, particularly in terms of our education and community engagement, participation and heritage outcomes. The opportunities we've had to work with the funders, but also with other heritage consultants that they have recommended or that we've brought in, has been absolutely invaluable, because although this is about heritage and education, it has to be commercially viable. So it isn't just about free entry to site visitor attraction, it's got to have commercial elements to it that bring in money that makes it sustainable.
The site has 10,000 years of history, and it's our job to be able to bring that to life.
The value of the heritage is enormous, and a lot of it we're still to learn and we don't know yet. But we do know from the geophysical studies that have been done previously that there is an old Roman town underneath the site, which is why it's of such importance in terms of it being a scheduled monument. We are in partnership with the University of Leicester, and we're developing partnerships with University College London, enabling students to get involved in digs alongside local people and learn about what is here and what has been here for a very long time.
We've had archaeological fieldwork undertaken on this site in one form or another since the 19th century. And hopefully going forward we'll be able to excavate onto the main Roman town. We have some very nice bronze objects, we have some nice complete pots, flints. There's over 170 skeletons that we have from 2 different cemeteries on the site, and we know there were 2 other cemeteries.
The first building you'll find as you arrive on site is our Archaeological Archiving Centre. And probably the most exciting and the building that's going to have the most impact when we open.
So this is the Archaeological Resource Centre. This is going to act as the archaeological archive repository for all of Northamptonshire. So for the past 20 years, archaeological archives have not been able to be collected or to be accessed in Northamptonshire, which has meant that this huge resource has never been properly looked at. It's not catalogued. So the idea of the ARC, or the Archaeological Resource Centre, is that it will make this material accessible, so members of the public, researchers, university students, doctoral projects can all come to this facility, access the material and find out far more about our history so that we can all learn more about our past within Northamptonshire. We have around 16,000 boxes of archaeological archives at various stores around the county and across the country, around about 50 different organisations who hold material for us, waiting for this to be open so that they can then deposit the material and we can start then making it accessible. We'll be able to monitor them all in one place, and most importantly, we'll be able to catalogue them all in one system.
The River Nene, or the Nen, is a core part of Chester House Estate. A big part of our project is renewing the 2 large footbridges that go over the River Nene and the Chester Stream, which will improve the connectivity into Wellingborough and Rushden and Irchester. And we're currently building a large mooring and canoe port, which all connect into our renovations of our 2 bridges, and also the Nenscape Greenway Link project, which will mean you can walk from Peterborough into Wellingborough. But also we're currently taking part in a very large stewardship scheme, which will see us putting in over 2,500 metres of fencing, putting in lots of foot gates, vehicle gates, which all connect into our renovations of our 2 bridges.
The purpose of doing stewardship is really to maintain the land and make it accessible to people, but it also creates an area that is sustainable and manageable for the future. The scheme's basically to clear this area of woodland, replace fencing, put in gates, so that the public, when they come through, can use the site to the best of its ability. It helps to give nature a sort of restart in a certain area. We have sheep grazing in the fields. We can't have anything heavier than sheep, so it doesn't damage any of the archaeological surfaces. So with the removal of fences in fields, they will become part of the stewardship scheme, as they'll be allowed to roam on previously fenced off areas. We're also introducing them into the garden so that we don't actually need to take a big heavy mower in there. They'll keep the grass down.
The site is on a really easy route if you use the river. It forms part of quite a long sort of green corridor up and down the county. We want to make the most of that, so that's why we've engaged with lots of partners, particularly the Neanscape partners, in order to look at how we can make the river accessible as a point of entry and egress from the site.
The bit that really, really appeals to me actually is the river. Being able to walk along the river, being able to cycle along the cycle paths, being able to pop out of your canoe, your boat, walk up here, maybe have lunch, maybe go and explore, maybe meet some friends. To have that combination is very unique.
You'll be able to come here, you'll be able to visit our restaurant and cafe and have your afternoon tea or an evening meal. You'll even be able to stay the night in our beautiful bed and breakfast centre which overlooks the River Nene. Weddings are a core part of our Chester House and Estate business plan. We've got a beautiful site here. We can cater up to 100 people within our 17th century Threshing Barn. We've got its own designated catering facility as well, a fantastic bar and toilets area. It's a chance to escape into the countryside and be able to, get involved in the heritage and the feel of the buildings and have the site to yourself in the evenings as well. We've got a very challenging 10-month build ahead, and we are due to open the site autumn of 2021, ready for our October half-term period.
We will try and get parts of the site accessible before then so that we can start, engaging with prospective couples who want to book weddings or with people who want to rent spaces at the site.
We're just about to launch the Chester Farm back into the public domain with our new business plan and activity plans and try and get the public really excited in what we're trying to do here. We're also just about to start promoting our volunteering work, getting volunteers onto site, getting them involved in our Natural England stewardship work and conservation work, and also the repairs to our 19th century greenhouse. And a big core aim of what we're trying to do is to try and get as many of the community involved with what we're doing here, from volunteering in our cafe, to our shop, to our archiving centre, or even getting involved in running some of our educational programmes with local school children.
The volunteers are important in terms of making this their own, making this part of Northamptonshire. Everyone is welcome, and we will try to fit in all the skills and abilities that we can, and that nobody should feel afraid of asking whether they can become a volunteer.
We hope to open in October 2021. Of the 16,000 boxes that we know about that are going to be coming here, around about 9,000 of them need to be repackaged because their current situation is not the perfect standards for keeping archaeological archives. That's going to be a long process, and we're hoping that we'll have lots of volunteers who want to help out with me in the Ark to repackage that material.
We're hoping for builders to be on site in the next 4 to 6 weeks to start a 10-month heritage conservation programme to get the buildings ready for opening next autumn of 2021.
If you can imagine what that's going to look like next year when we've had the plastering done, we've had all the electrics done, and then the site is good to go with all the exhibitions that are going to go on here, and just think of the opportunities for education. There'll be something here for everybody on this education site, and that is a real added value which you cannot put a price on as a future potential site for this county.
People will be able to come and engage in heritage and education, but they might be able to just come to wander around some artisan shops where we've got local traders, local produce.
We've got a fantastic artisan shopping courtyard where we'll be promoting local produce.
It's about providing an investment opportunity for Northamptonshire, for local businesses, for small traders to set up shop here literally and to thrive and flourish so that we can demonstrate that we're having an economic impact.
Chester House and Estate is also creating up to 9 full-time posts and up to 50 casual and part-time roles, including chefs, retail managers, marketing managers, and also an education and heritage officer. We're going to be putting on large events and programming all the way throughout the year here at the Chester House Estate. A diverse programme with all different interests.
What we want to do is make this place accessible to everyone. So free access, which is really exciting, and also free parking. Nobody should feel that this is not a place that they do not feel welcome in. I know it will be a showpiece that this county will be really proud of.
We're simply unique and we've got something here for the whole family, for everyone to get involved, which is going to connect them to their roots. This is history in the making and we can't wait for everybody to get involved.